something of a rebellion going on within the system.
Yes. I mean, it's the one hopeful thing is, in fact, that there are good people in the US military. There are good people in military intelligence organizations. And some of those people have had enough. And so they provide us with evidence of abuse. And I mean, that's, it's sort of another way of being a conscientious objector. And in fact, arguably a far more powerful way of objecting to the war.
Yeah. And what about among journalists? Is there a rebellion amongst journalists? You said some time ago, I think, that journalists need to respect their readers and viewers. How do journalists, by and large, react to WikiLeaks? Of course, some are very impressed, obviously, but you've described, for example, the reaction in the United States with CNN and NBC and CBS and so on as journalists being used to justify it. So how are journalists dealing with the arrival of WikiLeaks?
Yeah, a very interesting mixture. So, it seems like all the good journalists support us and all the bad ones don't. But of course, maybe that's just my interpretation based upon their support.
Probably a good interpretation.
But it does seem that the more accomplished and independent the journalists, the more they are likely to support us. The more they are able, in fact, the more established they are as an independent journalist with their own independent reputation, that they can choose to take from one newspaper to another. They can choose to take from one network to another if they're stuffed around. It seems like the more they are able to state their support for us, whereas the journalists who are not in that position of freedom, that are more part of the group of the company, that they're company men, they're more likely to be critical.
Because WikiLeaks is very threatening to systems. And the BBC is a system. The network making this documentary, ITV, is a system.
So individual journalists, as opposed to the organizations that they're working in, are supportive of us in that they may be able to collaborate with us or use our material. And that can be extremely important material. And some people have an ability to see that, and they want to help